Hey guys, how are you doing? We are here today. Pete from 11 Yanks. Our breakdown video for today is actually a live hangout to watch Chelsea versus Juve. Christian Pulisic versus Weston McKennie in the Champions League. And how lucky are we? Because it is really not that often that we get to see these guys playing against each other. So it's exciting. Good to see people in the comments. Johnny on thin ice, DBL Vision, Tack Manager. Are you still in the hospital, Tack? Still recovering. Hey, Chris Gary, Kenda King arrives. So yeah, Alex says Pulisic playing as a false nine. It'll be very interesting to see how they line up. I think it's going to be that revolving front three that we saw kind of in the last Chelsea game. Weston McKennie starting in Juventus is kind of a 4-4-2, it looks like, but we don't really know for sure. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Gunnar. How many screens you got today, Pete? Just the one, actually, because I'm doing the live stream. I have the TV, and then I have you guys. So I can't watch too many games. But we're going to focus mainly on Juve-Chelsea game. But I know a bunch of other Americans are starting. Tim Weah, Brendan Aronson, John Brooks. TS says, I'm using 4. 43, Martin. Alex going to England. Which Alex is going to England? Tell me more. Hey, Daniel. So, yeah, I don't know if it's a 4-4-2 or what exactly how Juve are going to play. Looks like Weston McKennie is on the left-hand side of maybe a 4-4-2 diamond. I'm curious to see how it is in practice. Hey, Juan, he says, hello, at work. Won't be able to watch the match, but I'll have this stream in the background. Dope. I am currently watching it on CBS Sports Online, on Paramount Plus. So they are currently walking out. It's going to be very exciting. Who are you rooting for today? Are you hoping for Juve or Chelsea to win? Let me know in the comments. Tack, are you feeling better? Are you still on meds? Alex Mighton going to England. He's already in England. Dominic Williams says, Puli starting up top. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Rogelio Zavala Cabrera is rooting for Juventus today. Zonda says tie. Both Americans score. Yeah, it'd be cool if Pulisic could get a goal or an assist or at least have a really strong performance today. Now that he's fully fit, he has to kind of work his way back into that starting lineup. He has the opportunity today because of injuries to Kai Havertz. I don't know if he would have started. Arnold Maldonado. Hey, Pete, I'm at work as well. I'm going to watch you while I work. How do you guys do it at work? I'd love to hear. Do you just have your phone open, like next to you on mute? Like, how do you guys watch these games when you're at work? Because I don't have a day job in that sense. So I'm just fascinated how you guys actually do it because there are a lot of passionate people that do it for sure. 11 Yanks, do your Triple G impression. Maybe not today. Paul Nichols, rooting. Just want both to play well and score or assist. Basically, we want Juve and Chelsea to qualify from this group, right? So that both Pulisic and McKennie can be in the knockout rounds of the Champions League. So, I mean, I'd be okay with a draw. Let me have a quick look at the table. Champions League group stage tables. Let's see. So Tyler Adams is not coming out of his group. We know that much. Leipzig is in 4th. Chelsea and we want, there's a couple of other interesting ones. Chelsea and Juventus have 12 and 9 points, so they are both going to qualify. Zenit has 3, Malmo has 0. So it doesn't really matter who wins today. They're both going to get out of the group. The other interesting one is Group G, where you have Salzburg top with 7 points. That's Brendan Aronson's. Tim Weah's Lille at 5 points, and John Brooks' Wolfsburg at 5 points. Now that's even more interesting. If Ricardo Pepi goes to Wolfsburg, could he be in the Champions League if they make it out of this group? So that's another interesting thing to consider / think about. All right. Ilyas Abdi, what's up, mate? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for tuning in all the way from England. I'm always very flattered when people tune into our streams from other countries. Johnny on thin ice. I left work early to see this match. And Pete, oh my God, dude, that's amazing. That's passion. That is passion, right? Cutting work to go watch football. Love it. Soccer. As tactical manager, is going to get mad at me for calling it football. Isn't it funny that the Brazilian guy insists on calling it soccer? Kyle Tupper, what do you do for work, Pete? Kyle, I'm an actor and an Uber driver. Those are the two things that I do right now. Pete, remember that the chat spoil the scores. Yes, guys, no spoiling scores. I don't know about, has the game started for anybody? It's just about to kick off for me. Juan Salazar, I need a USMNT player in AC Milan pronto. Tactical manager. In English, it's soccer. Portuguese, it's futebol. Tack, are you still on meds? Are you feeling better? Hope you're doing okay. Just starting now. Yeah, it hasn't started. I'll put my hand down when they on kickoff. I'll say go, so you guys know. Go. So just back to Jorginho, and then Chelsea have possession. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Great day for L Tree fans to watch Americans in the UCL. I'm just going to leave that one there. That's a great day for L Tree fans. I'm actually doing a video coming up soon, guys. You know, a video that I did about a year ago, basically comparing the Mexican 11 versus the US 11 and, you know, giving them a rating and seeing who came out on top. And it made a lot of Mexicans very upset because I suggested that Mexico was only marginally ahead of the US. I'm redoing that video for an update. So I'm going to look at the video and update the scores. So 11 Yanks, what productions have you been in? A ton of stuff. The most notable one I was in was a TV show called Homicide Hunter. I played Detective Skip Arms in that show, but just for one season. That was probably the biggest thing. I have a movie coming out in February. At least it premieres in February. I actually directed and wrote this movie. And that's another issue, not soccer related. Tactical manager, the US has to win the updated one. So guys, I'm currently at 118, 19, 20, 21. I don't know if you're ahead of me or behind me. If you're behind me, I apologize. I might react what's happening on screen. Oh, come on. Oh, kind of messy in that Juventus penalty area. A little bit of confusion with their defending there. Oof. I like Pulisic's movement there, creating space by dragging two defenders into the 6-yard box with him. I love Thomas Tuchel's reactions. He's so expressive. He's everything he's thinking is so evident on his face. Oof. We haven't seen USMNT players on Champions League rosters today, and 6 of them are starting. But we have 7. What a time to be a USMNT fan. Isn't it crazy? It's crazy that we can sit here watching 7, or 6 guys starting in the Champions League. And I think this season we have 10 total, right? Who have played in the Champions League so far. Or maybe not 10, maybe 9. I think Zach Steffen hasn't played yet. But it's crazy. And it's amazing. I mean, this should become the norm, right? This is what we all want. We should have 20, 30 players in the Champions League, honestly. That should be the goal, that every year, 20, 30 players in the Champions League. And a good chance that an American could win the Champions League every year. So we had an American win the Champions League last year. I mean, our chances of them maybe this year, there's Manchester City, obviously. There's Chelsea again. It's not going to be RB Leipzig because they're 4th in their group. So that's not going to happen. Dortmund, maybe. Personally, I doubt it. Dest is always a possibility. You can never count out Barcelona. Weston McKennie with Juve, you can never count them out, although I don't think it's very likely that either Barca or, Barca or Juventus are going to win the Champions League. I think of the teams that could win the Champions League that don't have an American, you're talking, probably Bayern Munich, PSG, maybe 1 or 2 others. I'm trying to think. Oh, Real Madrid, obviously. Real Madrid, Bayern, PSG. That's kind of it. I can't really see anybody else winning the Champions League that doesn't have an American playing for them. Something to think about. Or at least in the final. We should at least have 1 American in the final again. That would be amazing. But let's see what happens today. Chelsea dominating possession here. Oh, yeah, Liverpool. Duh. Thanks, Yash. Duh. That's what we need. We need Americans on Liverpool, not on PSG. I hate them. We need Chris Richards to get back to Bayern, so we can have another American playing on. Come on, Puli. Come on, Puli. Ooh. Wow. Callum Hudson-Odoi going at it. Greg sees a guy in the Champions League score a goal against United. Also, Greg calls up Giassi Sardes. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge Jordan. Oh, come on, Pulisic. Come on, Pulisic. Nice little run into the box. Pulisic playing as a false nine today. I'm not a big Jordan Pefok fan, to be honest. I think he's been very static for the U.S. I'd even prefer Sargent to Pefok, to be honest. But Sargent having the same issues he's always had, where his confidence is so bad that his skills just aren't coming off the way they should be. Always working hard and putting in a good shift. Even the Norwich fans were impressed this last weekend. Up here, he's got to rediscover his confidence again. I think, honestly, for him, that will be maybe dropping down to the championship, because I think in the championship he would score 15 goals at least. Brendan Aronson would be a good fit for Klopp, says Paul Nichols. I wouldn't hate that. I just don't know if Aronson has enough quality to be a Liverpool player. You know, Brendan Aronson is very good in combination, and he's a very hard worker. But he's not the kind of guy that can create out of nothing. That's not really his game, at least not right now. He may improve on that. We may see that in the future. To be honest, I think that's more his brother. Paxton Aronson is more that way. I think Paxton has a higher ceiling than Brendan. Now, he's very young, of course, so anything can happen. But personally speaking, I would say Paxton has a higher ceiling. I mean, so Paul, Klopp can definitely teach him, how to operate well within the system, and can definitely improve him. I just don't know, Aronson's ceiling, I don't know if he's ever going to be an elite player. And he's, 20, 21? So it's probably too early to say. But he seems like the kind of kid who's very technical, very intelligent, very good in tight spaces, combining, and also a very hard worker. He's a better version of Paul Areola, kind of, much better. But I just don't know if he's ever going to be a Pulisic or Gio Reyna level player, But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I will certainly be happy to be wrong. Yash Gami says, I actually want McKennie at Liverpool, even if he'd be a bench player for a few years. I kind of want him starting. I wouldn't mind him at Liverpool. I wouldn't mind seeing McKennie in the Premier League. I think it would actually suit his bulldogish style of play. But I just don't know how much he wouldn't start at Liverpool. Or maybe he would. I mean, he's been good for Juve. He's been good. He was good under Pirlo, and he had a rough start to the season, but he's found his form again, and he's still just 23, so maybe he could start for Liverpool. He's certainly better than Jordan Henderson ever was. Chris Gary, Cuadrado and Weston look too much alike. Weston should just go full-on blonde. I agree with you. It's very hard when watching Juve. Very hard when watching Juve to distinguish between McKennie and what's his name? Cuadrado. Great day for Eldred. I love this from Tack. All right. Who do you think is going to move abroad? Well, I think Pepe will go if Dallas don't outprice him. The problem is when you put $15 million on Pepe, essentially the only people that can afford to pay that are big clubs where he won't get as much playing time, like Bayern Munich, So it's like I'd rather he go to a place like Ajax or Salzburg, where they're very good at developing young players. But when you have such a high price, basically you price out the development clubs and you force him to go to a big club, which maybe will be fine. I mean, maybe he'll be able to get some playing time in Bayern, but definitely not that much. He's not going to oust Lewandowski for sure. But then the good thing is Bayern has a lot of games. They have Champions League. They have, Bundesliga and DFB Pokal. So there might be playing time for him. I just don't want him to go play for their reserve team, Kyle Tupper says Norwich paid $10 million for Sargent. Yeah, that is true. And Kyle, I could see a team like Everton going in, like they affording Pepe, Whether or not they want to pay $15 million for him is a different question, right? Is a good question from Matt. Is being a lone army player that bad? Haven't been following European soccer long enough to know. I feel like you can be loaned to a team at your level. The problem with being a lone army team is that you don't always develop the way you should, right? You go to different clubs with different styles of play. They know you're not a permanent fixture, so they're not as interested in developing you long term. They're more interested in what they can get out of you right then. And so I think a year or two can be fine for a loan. But being a permanent loan army guy, the way Matt Miazga was for like 5 years, I don't think it's a very healthy situation for a player to be in. There's some advantages, certainly. You get a diversity of experience. You work under a diversity of coaches. You experience, in Miazga's case, he played in France, Belgium, Holland, and England. And I'm sure that all helped his game in some way. And it probably depends on the player. You know, there are some players who need stability and certainty in order to develop well. That's just how they are. And then there are some players that thrive under the chaos of being a perpetual lone army guy. But generally speaking, if you're a lone army guy and then you're developing, either your club is going to want you or they're going to eventually be able to make a profit on you, and that is sell you for a decent amount of money. So I guess there's pros and cons. I would rather a player be at a permanent club situation rather than a perpetual lone army. Just my personal preference on that. Oof. Come on now. Who do you guys think is going to qualify out of the other group? Okay. McKennie looking sharp with a little one-touch layoff. Pabis, are you having trouble with Paramount Plus? It's working for me. My idol, Jadon Bumcho, finally scores better than Pulisic. Yeah, Kevin Pulisic gives a good example. Richards' loan is fine. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Jesus. Guy has to learn to hang on to the ball there. He just lost it in the box. Like, not even really under that much pressure. He just let them sweep it away from him. That's Hakim Ziyech, by the way. I mean, yeah, we should give Weston props for being the guy that made that tackle. But, oof. And then he goes back and fouls him. Interesting game. Wait a minute. What? 11 Yanks. Wait, were you in the movie Savage Youth? I loved that movie. I was. I was actually originally, I had like 3 scenes in that movie, but they only kept 2 of them. And I played an officer in the movie. I arrested some of the main characters. And in all 3 scenes, I had like lines and everything. But in the cut, they decided to make the part where they all get arrested a montage. So there's like music and voiceover at the end. And instead, you see me, but you don't hear me. You just see me like yelling at them with my gun in my hand. But yes, I was in Savage Youth. McKennie looks good early. Yeah, he looks sharp. I mean, he's looked sharp for them for the last couple of weeks now. You know, he had a rough start to the season combined with his, miscreant behavior on national team duty, but he's looked good today. I think Chelsea are going to win this. They just look like more incisive when they get the ball. They look like they have a more clear idea of what they're trying to do. And every time Juventus tries to attack, the buildup is so slow that it allows Chelsea to drop back into a deep block very easily and then win it again. Pulisic has been a little quiet, not getting a lot of service up there, which is okay. He's definitely playing as a 9 or as a center forward for sure. I don't think Aaron Long is going anywhere, buddy. He's too old right now. He's almost 29, so nobody's going to pay money for him. And I don't think Aaron Long, I mean, maybe a championship. I think that's probably the best place for Aaron Long. Like, that's probably at best his level. But he struggles building out of the back too, right? He struggles with his feet. That's a problem of Aaron Long. He's very athletic, right? Very strong, very quick, and tends to read the game quite well. But I don't know that he's really a top 5 league guy. And I don't think anybody's going to pay money for a 29-year-old center back at this point. So I could see him maybe going on a free somewhere, but unfortunately, he does not have, Chelsea. Unfortunately, he has a contract with Red Bulls, and they are not going to let him go. As far as I know. I mean, I could be wrong, but you know who does clearly still rate him is Greg Berhalter. Greg Berhalter brought him in when he was still injured to be in camp. So that's clearly, to me, is Greg Berhalter saying he's still part of my plans. So most top European teams have better youth players than Long, which hurts too. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be a top 5 player, I don't think, Aaron Long, ever. A top 5 league or even top 6 league. I think championship, maybe Holland, you know, like I can see like a Heracles or something, being able to use him. But even in Holland, they want you to play with your feet. Honestly, I think the championship is the best place for him. In the championship, they care a little less about how good you are with your feet. They want big, strong center backs that can win everything in the air. So I probably think a mid-tier championship team would be the destination for him. But again, I don't think they're ever going to pay money for Aaron Long at 29 years old. I think he's probably going to spend the rest of his career in MLS. All right. How's this going? Thoughts on playing Gio as a false 9? I don't think it suits him, Benji. I think he could play it if you asked him to, sort of the way he's playing on the right wing. I don't think that's his best position either. We have problems with midfield congestion. If you play Gio as a false 9, he's going to drop so deep into midfield, and you're going to have 4 midfielders, right? And then you have 2 wing. It depends who you have on the right wing. At least Tim Weah tends to stay wide a little bit more. He tends to try to stretch the field with width. But then if you've got Christian Pulisic on the left, he's going to be coming inside. And the problem with the way that Greg Berhalter plays the 4-3-3 is you need a false 9 who wants to hold up the ball, lay it off, receive it, do the dirty work. And I think Gio Reyna could do that, but I don't think you take advantage of his best skill set. His skill set is to be creative and incisive on the ball. And that's why I think Gio Reyna should play in the middle. And apparently Dortmund agrees with me, because he's the kind of guy who can beat you on the dribble. He's the guy that can play incisive passes through the middle of the field. And he's a goal machine. He scores goals. So I would love to see Gio Reyna in central midfield. Again, I think he could play as a false 9 if you asked him to, but I don't think it takes advantage of his skill set very much. And I think you have to build your team around your best players, which is, for me, still Gio Reyna and Christian Pulisic are still the best players on this team for me. Even Pulisic as a false 9, I know some people talked about it now that he's played there for Chelsea for like half a game. I just don't think it suits him. I think you want Christian Pulisic running at players with the ball at his feet. And playing up against 2 center backs is not going to be easy for him to do that. So I don't think it suits him either. Again, I think he can do it. Look, quality players can play in multiple positions, right? We know this. If you're a quality player, you'll be able to play across different positions, usually, especially if you're very technical. That doesn't mean it's the position that you should play in just because you can, you know? All right, Kevin Polite. Pete, when everybody is healthy, should we switch to a 4-2-3-1? Yeah, I like the 4-2-3-1. I think the 4-2-3-1 would be great. You'd have Adams and McKennie as, the holding midfielders, with McKennie a little more licensed to roam and to arrive late in the box. But you also have, Reyna, Weah, and Pulisic as those 3 with Pepe up top. And then you have guys like Aronson and Musa coming off the bench, Is Patrick Weah any good? He's 17. I have not been particularly Wait, Patrick Weah? Is this the guy in Minnesota? Or is that a different Weah? Someone let me know. The only other way I've seen is the guy who plays on Minnesota. What's his name? Somebody should know his name. I haven't actually seen. I don't think that's Patrick, though, is it? I think that's somebody else. 11. Who is a better player for USMNT, Donovan or Dempsey? Oof. I don't know. There's a lot. I like Dempsey better. I just think that Dempsey was more technical. I think he was more of a brawler. He had that toughness that I like it to see in players. And I mean, he did it at a level that Donovan never did it at, right? That being said, Donovan came up clutch in huge moments for the US. So I'd say they're very, very close to each other. For me, Donovan has lost a little bit of his shine, some of the antics that he's pulled since he retired. But generally speaking, I'd say they're pretty close. And I still like Clint Dempsey better. I just think Clint Dempsey had that American swag that we love to see in our players. You know what I mean? Like Donovan did too, but in a different way. He was a little quieter about it. And he still came up big in big moments and multiple assists and goals for the national team. So, I mean, Donovan has so many, especially at the World Cup, right? You're talking about against the 2-0 against Mexico, the Algeria goal, so many huge goals for the U.S. in really crucial times. And that's, sort of a big game player, which you have to give Donovan credit for. But overall, I still like Clint Dempsey better. More technical, too, in my opinion. Minnesota has loaned Patrick Weah to Sacramento Republic in the USL Championship. Yeah, I haven't seen, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Patrick Weah. The little bit I have seen, I wasn't particularly impressed with. He just seems like an athlete, not a technician. But if you're saying he's 17, I thought he was older. Oh, he is only 17. Yeah, I mean, if he's 17, he's still very young, so he can definitely improve for sure. Sorry, I'm going back and forth between the game and talking to you guys. I don't know how Tack does this, honestly. Tack is a goddamn hero. The fact that he manages to do live streams during US games, communicate with you all, and watch, amazing. Is he related to Tim Izonda? I don't believe he is actually related to Tim Weah. I think Tim Weah clarified recently that he might be a distant. I don't think he's even a cousin. I think there's some confusion about it because Patrick Weah is saying he's Tim Weah's cousin, but then Tim Weah said he's not. So I actually don't know the answer to that. Oh, come on. Free kick. Juan Guardado. Clint Dempsey was the first American that I saw play, and he was an underrated player at Fulham. And I remember seeing him at England-USA game at the South Africa. It's good to see more USMNT. Thanks, Elias. You must have remembered Clint Dempsey when he played England in the 2010 World Cup finals in the group stage when he scored through Rob Green's legs from like 40 yards out. 11 Yanks. I work at Vagabond Theater, so I am well aware of your studies with us in the past. Hope you had a good experience with us. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was great. Rafael Marquez is way better than Donovan. I think that is probably fair to say. Winning the Champions League with Barcelona and being an amazing player for Mexico for many years. Oh! Almost a goal there from Cho. Wait, is that Cho? No, that's not Cho. Callum Hudson-Odoi, by the way. It's the right back. I really like the way that Chelsea build under pressure. Everybody is so good on the ball, and everybody knows exactly their role in the build-out. That's like an underrated thing with clubs, is that having a lot of good players is one thing. Having everybody understand exactly what their role is during different phases of the game is not something that every coach is able to get across. What was that? Supposed to be for Pulisic? It was nowhere near him if it was. Ilyas Abdi says, that was my first World Cup I ever watched. I remember watching that England-USA game. Ilyas, I was actually in England when that happened. I was in a bar in London, and I was the only guy wearing a USA shirt, and I was surrounded by Brits. And when Gerrard scored, I think it was like the 10th minute or something, the whole bar went crazy. Oh, goal. Sorry, I have to watch the goal again because I missed it. Nathaniel Chaloba. Off a corner. Hakim Ziyech comes off the chest of Antonio Rudiger. Yeah. Oh, kind of a weird one. He kind of had his hands out like this, but it was directly in front of him. Interesting. Wonder if that gets called back. I don't know, though. His hand was pulled into him like this, into his chest, and it kind of struck him here. Is that not a goal? Is that a handball? Bonucci's not happy. They're going to look at it. Referee's talking to VAR. Thank God they have VAR in the Champions League, huh? Yeah, I don't know. If some people are asking in the chat about Christian Pulisic, I don't think he's played poorly, but I also think he's been quiet, So it is a goal. But I don't think he's been quiet because of anything of his fault. I just don't think they've gotten the ball to him, to be honest. Yeah, sports television. So I was in the bar. Gerrard scores, and everybody goes nuts, and I'm real quiet. And everyone was giving me, banter, as they call it, before the game, about how the USA is just lucky to be here. Right? When how this is how English people don't really respect your soccer culture. They're like, USA, yeah, exciting to see a couple of players. Interesting to see how you guys do. But just being at World Cup, right? That alone is pretty success for the US. Just to be at a World Cup, even be competing at this level. So there was a lot of that before the bar. There was either like snide remarks or it was like faux condescension. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then in the second half, Dempsey scores off like what he did. He scored, but it was Rob Green's mistake. Basically threw it through his own legs. And then the bar was quiet when Dempsey scored. I went completely nuts, and everybody turned around and looked at me, and I was like, I need to get out of here. They were so mad. So Rob makes a good point here. Rob Thomas says, lucky for CP, they are up 1-0. Now Juve will have to open up and take some chances. That's the only time CP is good, when the game is open and there's space in behind. I don't know if that's the only time is good, but I do think that suits him, Rob. That you're right. It does suit him. Oh. Save off the line. Oh, Thiago Silva. Have you guys seen that video? I don't know where I saw it. I think I saw it on Facebook. One of these guys, the guy who wrote that song, was a rapper, a British rapper. And he invites this kid on stage who's wearing a PSG Thiago Silva jersey. He's like, you want to come up and sing this rap song with me? And it's got super like fast lyrics. And this like 18-year-old kid, looks like a little scrawny white boy, gets up and crushes the rap on stage. Like completely crushes it. Look it up. It's a good song. He might be done for the game. Thiago? I hope not. Dude, one of the last good Brazilian defenders that Brazil has left. Just don't tell Tack I said that. Dave, yeah, that's the one. Here we go. I know you say recently biased, but Robinson could have had the US 0 for one down versus Mexico, an entire game throwing again Jamaica. I would love to see Scally on left instead of him. So my problem with Scally on the left is not that he can't do it or that he won't be good. It's just that his instinct is going to be to come inside again. And if you have Christian Pulisic on the left coming inside, and you have Scally cutting onto his right foot coming inside, you're not providing the natural width that you need for balance on the team. And Anthony Robinson is very underrated in that he provides that width. When you have him on the left coming in, putting dangerous crosses, it forces them to open up and create space inside. But if you have three midfielders and then a striker coming deep, and then you have your fullbacks have to provide a lot of the width because your wingers are playing more tucked inside. So you need guys to play in their natural positions. It's the same reason Serginho Dest didn't really work on the left. I mean, I'm open to seeing it tried, but I have my doubts that it's going to be best for what we're trying to do with this team. I think you have to think about balance and shape and ways of opening the team up, not just trying to cram as many good players onto the team as you can. Sometimes I think we still have that problem in American soccer where we never had as many good players before as we have now. So we're not used to amazing elite players sitting on the bench, right? That's something we're going to have to get used to. You know, I said, if Gio comes inside, you bench Musa, or you bench, whoever's having a bad game. Maybe it's McKennie's in bad form. You bench McKennie and you have Musa and Gio. Or if Gio's in bad form, you bench him. And that's okay to have one of those guys sitting on the bench. It's good to have that on the bench. And let's be honest, so many of our guys are injury prone. I doubt that's going to be a huge problem for us in very many games. So, Jay Cutler. I'm going to be honest. What was that from Pulisic? Did I miss something? No, Adam, I know he only played for Barca on the left, but, Pulisic picks up a loose ball and does not do anything with it. Tries to find Chalobah on his right, but didn't really have the pass there. Should have gone straight for goal there, Christian. I mean, you had the shot, or at least take the guy on 1v1. David scored for Lille. Awesome. That guy can't stop scoring, huh? Jay Cutler, I'm going to be honest. Many of the U.S. chants are cringe, and I agree with you. We need to get new chants. And the American Outlaws have to accept the fact that their chants are bad. It's not that their chants are bad. There are some good ones. Like, we are the U.S., mighty, mighty U.S. I like that one, for example. The I Believe one was fine for like one World Cup, but it's so overused and cringe now. It needs to die the death. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I did a whole video on this, guys, about how we need new chants. But we have to, the problem is we have to develop a consensus on what chants we want to use, because in order to make any dent, everybody has to kind of agree on the same 4 or 5 chants just to kind of get us rolling. And then from there, we can develop a culture of creating our own chants naturally and organically and not getting stuck on the same chants for years on end. So developing consensus among the fan base is a hard thing to do. What is your favorite NFL team? I don't watch NFL sports television. I just don't. It's so boring to me, honestly. Like, I know some people are going to hate me for saying this. And I don't knock anybody else for liking it. I just can't get with the constant stoppages and the so many advertisements and very little action. And then the action lasts 3 seconds. I also think that to really appreciate NFL, you have to appreciate NFL, you have to really understand the plays. You have to understand these plays. And I just don't, probably because I never played it growing up. I think if you played it in high school, or you played it in college, or you just played it even recreationally, you understand the tactics behind the game and you understand the plays that they're making. And so you have more of an appreciation for it. But for me, I don't have that appreciation. So it just looks like 12 guys smashing heads for 3 seconds, and then we rest for 5 minutes while you show me ads about my prostate. That literally is what what NFL games look like to me. Prostate ads and 24 men smashing into each other. Prostate medicine ads, rather, not prostate ads. Jay Cutler, Kevin, I agree with you. If Pete liked the NFL, he definitely has the vibe of a depressed Jets fan. The Super Bowl was basically a national holiday in America. Yeah, The Rock, I will watch the Super Bowl just for the cultural relevance of it. But even then, I struggle to develop appreciation for the game. Also, part of me is like the concussion issue is a big one. Like all these guys are damaging their brains over and over again. I don't know. It's hard for me to like really love that. Justin Taylor, prostate care is important though. Just you watch. My next sponsor is going to be a prostate medicine. Pooley might be subbed here. Oof. So not really. A couple of times when Pulisic's being asked to hold up the ball with his back to goal, he's sort of struggled. He's given it away. I don't think that is his game. I just don't. This is why I'm not a fan of people wanting Pulisic to play as a false nine. And to be fair, I don't think that Herc Gomez is a fan of it either. Did you see the latest Football Americas? Herc Gomez is not a fan of it either. Made me love Herc a little bit more. Karen Johnson, McKennie is everywhere right now. Yeah, McKennie's playing very well. And as I say that, he gives the ball away. I hope Pulisic doesn't get unfairly slammed for this performance because 35 minutes in, he hasn't really done a whole lot. Will Grieg says, I have a friend in England who said the weirdest thing about America was the number of drug ads on TV. Yeah, it's illegal in most of the world. There are only 2 countries in the world where it's legal to show drug ads on television. That's New Zealand and the United States. In every other country, it is illegal. Ooh, what a save. What a save, Szczesny. Oof. Good shot there off the volley. Imagine if that had fallen to Christian Pulisic, he would have tucked that away. 11 Yanks, were you in Imago? Yeah, I wrote and directed that movie. I wrote it, produced it, directed it, and starred in it. So yes. But it's not. That's the one that's coming out in February. Conte, is he injured? He's got to be injured, right? Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen now. I mean, why else would you take off Conte? He's got to be injured, right? He's been playing very well. You wouldn't sub off Conte after 37 minutes. Has to be an injury of some kind. Has to be. Come on, Puli. Nope. Header by Antonio Rudiger. Big Chunkus says, remember when North Korea won the 2014 World Cup? Our leaders said so. They were at the 2010 World Cup, North Korea, but they, a lot of the guys who went home got sent to labor camps for failing to win the World Cup or getting blown out 7-1 by Portugal. I can't wait for Gio Reyna to come back for the U.S., guys. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Hopefully he'll be fit in time for the 3 January games. If we can get 7 points out of those games, I'll be very confident about us being in the top 2. No, Paramount Plus is not free, Jesus. It's $5 or $4.99 a month, I believe. Justin Taylor, the stream about to get taken down by North Korea. PFOC goal. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Juve with a corner. Karen Johnson says, I think we get 6 next window. You don't think we get a point at least in Canada, Karen? I think we can. I definitely think we can. Kevin Polite, how is Areola going to get picked for the team if we have so many other wingers? I don't know, Kevin. It's a good question. I'm sure we'll find a spot for him. I'm sure Uncle Greg would love him. He'll definitely find a spot. Although you never know. He did play against Jamaica, but he didn't play at all against Mexico. We all thought Greg was going to start him against Mexico. So who knows? Who knows? Tyler Johnson, Reyna, McKennie, Adams midfield, I think would be our best yet. Having Musa and Busio as impact subs is a beautiful thing. Yeah, you have Musa, you have Busio, although you could have Luca De La Torre, if we ever called him up, actually gave him a shot. Ooh, what a nice back heel. Come on, give it to Puli. What was that? It was fired at him. That's not on Puli. I'm sorry. He literally fired that ball right into him. Of course he took that. I don't think that was poor touch. Put it in front of him so he can run onto it next time, since you're such a good crosser of the ball. Oh, what was that? It's like there's nobody to deliver a good final ball in today. Hakeem Ziyech has not been that good. Chandler's asking if anyone else is having issues with Paramount Plus. I'm not. I've got Paramount Plus working perfectly. You might have already talked about it, but the LDLT situation is incredibly unfair. I agree, man. I've talked about LDLT until I'm blue in the face so many times. I've got, multiple videos on Patreon of him doing amazing things. I've talked about his skill set and how much it could help us. Maybe not as a starter, but maybe as a starter against certain teams. If you're trying to break down a low block, there's nobody better at breaking down a low block in our entire player pool. Well, Gio Reyna's first for me, but after that, it's Luca De La Torre. Yeah, I have Roku also, Andrew. That's what I've got, a Roku TV, but I can see it just fine on Paramount Plus. I'm not sure why. Oh, hell no, sports television. Is Acosta our best six with Adams playing awful? Look, Adams on his worst day is still better than Acosta on his best day. Okay? You can't even, the gap between those two is just completely massive. And also, Adams has been very consistent. He's played poorly in the last game or two and, had a couple of rough games for Leipzig recently. But considering he's been a pro for like 4 years now, for this to be a first time that we look at Adams and say he's not really playing that well, shows you how consistent he has been over the last few years. Tyler K says, Pulisic getting destroyed on Twitter. Is he having as bad of a match as they make it out? Can't watch. I don't think he's playing that poorly, to be honest. I think they're asking him to do a job that he's not suited for. They're asking him to hold up the ball by playing it into his feet, and that's not really who he is. It's this use of Pulisic in the wrong position that, could see him maybe leave at some point. I mean, look, I don't mind him playing there right now because I think it will benefit him. Like, playing in a different position is always a good thing. But you can't knock a guy for performance when he's playing out of position. So, what's your prediction on Alex Mighten after tax video? I think Mighten will choose us, but I do think we should pump the brakes on Mighten a little bit. The guy is not even starting in the championship. He has no goals and 1 assist in the championship this year. Of course, he's still 19, so he could become a very good winger. But I don't think he's better than Weah or Aronson right now, and certainly not Pulisic or Gio. So I would just say it'd be exciting if he chooses us because more talent is always a good thing. But I don't think he walks into our starting lineup or even our game day roster just yet. So that's my current thoughts on Alex Mighten. Still 0-0, or 1-0 rather, in the 44th minute. We're 1 minute away from halftime. And apparently Pulisic not playing very well, according to some people. I agree that he's not playing well, but I think you're asking him to do a job that he's not good at, you know. McKennie, on the other hand, is a nuisance all over the field, winning balls, driving the team forward, connecting passes. What I like about Weston McKennie is recently he's really improved the one side of his game that he's always been really bad at, and that is in a measured build-out. When you're trying to build through the thirds, he always struggled with that side of his game because instinctively he wanted to just take the ball and run with it. That was always his, and he's very good at that. But he has improved technically, playing in those little tight spaces, playing the little 1-2s, the little layoffs. He's improved that side of his game a lot. And in a measured build-out, he understands his role and he understands how to be effective. And that's huge, right? To see that kind of improvement from a guy like Weston. Can you watch it on CBS Sports, Maximus Primus, if Paramount Plus isn't working? Come on. Man, how old is Bonucci? The fact that he's still playing at such a high level is incredible. He's got to be like almost 40 years old. Nice little layoff from Weston there. You see what I mean about the build-out? He's so much quicker to let go of the ball and then move again. The whole pass and move paradigm that we haven't always seen from him. He's definitely improved that side of his game. And his movement off the ball too. Like when his teammates are in possession, he's always looking for little pockets of space to try to support and create. Ooh, Weston. Oh, how did he miss that? Oh, Weston. Come on. He completely missed the ball. It was a nice cut in field, and he had the shot. He just completely missed the ball. It was like one of those comical, embarrassing shots where you completely miss the ball. Bentancur shoots over the box. Chiellini turned 37 recently. Wow. Bonucci is 34. My bad, CM James. He looks like he's 40. I don't know. I don't think he got shoved there, Weston McKennie. Maybe he got a little bit of a push, but not enough to call a penalty for me. They have to see it again, though. It might be more of a foul. It didn't look like one. Man, these defenders. Thiago Silva has got to be what, 35, 36? I think Thiago is 36 or 37. Amazing that he's still playing at a high level. Chiellini, too, for sure. Oh, Wes. Oh, well. All right, so it's halftime, 1-0 to Chelsea. Pulisic not having the best game here. They may need to move him wide if they're going to keep him on the field. I just don't think him playing as a striker is really his best. Not living his best life, as the Zoomers like to say. Paul Nichols, I'm 38, and he looks like he could be my dad. Haha. Ilyas Abdi, Thiago Silva is 37. And Dan W. McKennie had a great half, but that's the memory he leaves us with. And that's why you have to watch performances, not highlights. Too many people will clip that out and be like, what is going on, Weston McKennie? And they'll ignore the rest of the 45 minutes where he actually played quite well. So, yeah, is what it is. How about that Chelsea has enough center backs to give Zuma to a top 4 team? Yeah. Lukaku in for CHO if he's fit enough. Move Puli to left forward. The problem, Ricky, with that is that CHO is playing quite well. If anything, you move Hakim Ziyech out, who's not playing as well as CHO, and then move Pulisic wide and put Lukaku up top. I think Lukaku would be great for Pulisic because he would take a lot of attention from center backs, and that would create little pockets of space for Pulisic to operate in, which is what he's good at, running with the ball at his feet. I don't think he plays today either, to be fair, Eric. I think it comes just a little too early for him. Maybe 20 minutes at the end, maybe, if they feel like they've got it comfortably in the bag and they want to start easing him back into playing time, then I think he might. Jay Cutler can't wait for the U.S. to be put in Group E with England, Ghana, and Saudi Arabia. Why? Why those teams specifically, Jay? Is Chelsea the best team in the world? Well, they're currently European champions, so until somebody unseats them, then yes. This is a good point by Ilyas here. He says, Ziyech will be gone for a month in January for the African Cup of Nations, so Pulisic will see more minutes. That'll be interesting. Definitely want to see Pulisic, if you're going to play him as a forward, play him as a center or as a second forward off of a guy at like Lukaku, because that is going to create pockets for Pulisic to do his best work, to live his best life. All right. Thank you very much, Max. I appreciate it. Top 10 players you want in USMNT December camp. So these are the guys I want, but I'm already aware that very likely some of these guys won't be there. Number 1, Caden Clark. Caden Clark is going to be training with Leipzig, so I don't think he's going to be in camp. Number 2, Jonathan Gomez. I don't know what's the situation with Jonathan Gomez. Will Real Sociedad want him training with them before January? It's possible. I really hope we get Jonathan Gomez into camp because we had so many opportunities. Well, actually, we didn't have the opportunities. There was no youth camps. We didn't bring Jonathan Gomez in when we should have. At least we could have brought him into Gold Cup, honestly. Like, he can't have been any worse than Vines or Bello, in my opinion. And even if you're not ready to start him or give him matches, you could have brought him in for training and environment and get him into the sort of the camp atmosphere, get him playing in Berhalter's system, getting the guys to, develop friendships and relationships with him. So definitely Jonathan Gomez. My third one is Georgi Mihailovic, but it looks like Mihailovic will be going to Bologna to train, sort of have a trial with them. And if they like him, they may sign him in January. So I doubt that Mihailovic is going to be there, which is discouraging because Clark and Mihailovic were kind of the two guys I wanted to see. Number 4 would be Paxton Aronson. Very technical player, very good on the ball, a lot better than his brother was at that age. So he's another guy I want to see there. Number 5 is Kevin Paredes. I think that Kevin Paredes is an excellent player. I'd like to see more of him. Number 6, Johnny Cardoso, definitely a player I'd like to see, especially playing in that 6 role. Remember, we're still looking for a backup for Tyler Adams because Acosta has been a bit inconsistent. So I still think we should be looking at other options. Johnny Cardoso is one. Aiden Morris, when he comes back for the Crew, is another guy to watch. Keep an eye on that kid. Cade Cowell, I wouldn't mind seeing Cade Cowell there. Jesus Ferreira. Jordan Morris, I'd like to see Jordan Morris back and playing for the U.S. again, even though I don't think he's ahead of any of the 4 players we have now. I think he's far superior to Paul Arriola as an attacking threat. So let's wait and see. But very likely, guys, and I just want to tamper expectations. I could see, Senora, Alan Senora, absolutely. Let's bring Senora in, another very technical midfielder that I want to see. Cole Bassett, maybe. Ian Harkes is in Scotland. I doubt he's going to come. But, guys, realistically, I think that camp is going to be mostly Leggett, Roldan, Arriola, Acosta, Zardes, guys like that. I think those are the guys you're going to see in that camp mostly. I could be wrong, but I hope we're going to see some more of the younger guys. Chris Gary, I'm seeing Chelsea fans ripping Ziyech. Is it Ziyech or Ziyech or Ziyech? I think it's Ziyech. More so than Puli. Most CFC fans are saying CP10 is just not good as a center forward, which is true. Yes, which is why we can't overreact to one half an hour at the end of a Premier League game they were winning, and everyone's saying, oh my God, he's a false nine. It's the answer to all of our problems because he happened to score a goal. He's not a false nine, guys. He can play there if you need him to, but it doesn't take advantage. You don't move your best players out of position just to accommodate having more players on the field. You put your best players, this is my opinion, put your best players in their best position. You come up with, you bring complementary players around them. You come up with a system that allows your best players to shine, that enhances their strengths and covers for their weaknesses. And then you let talent do its work, especially in international soccer, international football, when you don't have a lot of training time with your team. That is my philosophy. I don't know if that's everyone's philosophy. That's just how I see the game. How many Champions League players do you think we'll have in 2026? 25. Easily 25. I'm not even exaggerating. 25. Watch. You'll see. It'll keep going up every year for the next 5 years. So right now it's 10. I think in 2 years it'll be 15. Another 2 years after that it'll be 20. And by 2026 it'll be 25. I think. Maybe less. Maybe 23, 24. But in that range. In the 23 to 27 range for sure. Did you see Owen Otasawi is back in the Champions League squad for Club Brugge? Hopefully he can get his career back on track. I hope so, Elias. He's had some attitude issues, both with the national team and with his club. So I think he's going to have to do a lot to convince Greg or even his club that he deserves another chance. And he's going to have to start showing consistency over time before I think he gets another call-up. I'm a fan of the kid. I like his game. I think he could be a great backup six for us. But he has a lot of developing to do, both from a technical perspective and especially mentally. Mentally, I think is his big obstacle right now. Attitude issues, lacks humility, doesn't get along with coaches from what I've heard. Okay, and limited sample size. Okay, but it happened at Wolves. It's happening at Bruges. From what I heard, it happened in USMNT camp as well. That's why he was sent home early last year. All right, I don't know why my Paramount Plus just shut off on me here. Let's get this back on. Oh, it's advertisements. That's why. All right. Yeah, and this is important to remember when we're talking about Pulisic, in his position. Tuchel said he's playing Pulisic as a 9 because he can do all right, where the 3 other options aren't fit. When Lukaku and or Timo return, Pulisic will be used as a winger/CAM role. Exactly, and that's the thing, Chris. A guy like Pulisic, he's a quality player, and quality players are versatile up to a point. They can play in certain areas if you have no other choice. It's obviously not his forte, though. It is not the position he was meant to play, and you're certainly not taking Pulisic's big advantages are his explosiveness and his ability to beat players on the dribble 1v1. You can't do that when you're playing with your back to goal. You need to have space to run at players, and that's why he's better coming in wide or even coming central, at least coming from deep areas, Nate Achenbauer, you watching MLS playoffs tonight? Actually, tonight is my anniversary with my girlfriend. It's our 3-year anniversary since we became official. So we are going out tonight. We're going to go have dinner and maybe see a movie. Otherwise, I would be watching. I think Tack and I are going to do the playoffs this weekend, though. I think we're going to do live streams. He's going to do Eastern Conference, and I'll join him on Eastern Conference, and then I'm going to do Western Conference, and he's going to join me. So, thank you, Catherine. Thanks, Walter. Thanks, Carlos. CM James, no teams. Oh, actually, I thought you said no mames. You need to propose. Okay, let's settle down, Jose. Actually, not yet. Not yet. If McKennie can maintain his form he is on, do you think he can play at my team, Liverpool? We are kind of old in the midfield. I mean, you tell me, Wesley. Who's your 3 best midfielders right now, in your opinion, Wesley? And tell me if you think Weston McKennie is better than them. I have my own opinion. But I want to hear yours. Jeff Australia incoming Manscaped ad. No, Manscaped was just a one-time thing. I don't think they're going to be offering me more ad spots. I think they just wanted to see if they had this thing where they were like, if if people are going to like get Manscaped, they usually get it on the first time. So if nobody gets it on the first time, it's not worth doing any more ads. And I was like, I'd kind of disagree with that. I think people need to see something 4, 5, 6, 7 times before they think maybe I should get that. But I mean, they're the experts in marketing, not me. So up to them. Akshay Singh, Chicago Fire is going to win the World Cup. Embarrassing, man. Embarrassing. Oh, hell yeah. Elias says, do you think Jonathan David would start for the USMNT if he committed to the USA? And congrats on the anniversary. Oh, yeah. Not even close. Not even close. He's the best. Maybe he's not the best in Concacaf, but he's better than any American forward by a country mile. And he might be the best in Concacaf right now. So it's between him, Raul Jimenez, and Michail Antonio. So, yeah, those are definitely the three. But, yeah, and the thing is, Jonathan David was born in New York. Like, he could have committed. If we had gotten Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies, we would be 7 points clear of in the table right now. It wouldn't even be close, like not even close, no matter what Berhalter did. We would just have way too much talent, and we'd be a dark horse to win in 2022. If we had Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies, we would be a dark horse to at least make the semifinal next year in Qatar. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I genuinely believe that. Kevin, I don't know if we ever pursued Jonathan David. I'm sure we did at some point. But, you know, he chose Canada. Lance Tanwi says, Weston is definitely better than Oxlade, Chamberlain, and Henderson. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's better than both of those guys, for sure. I love how Tree fans want to justify the fact. What do you mean it's unavailable? Come on, people. Maybe I'm having problems with them now, too. Or maybe it's just because it's an advertisement, so they're not showing it. Come on, guys. It's the last thing I need. If not, I'll just go watch it on Fubo TV. They'll have it. At least I think they'll have it. Western is better than Milner. Yeah, I think he could start in Liverpool. And I think, Jurgen Klopp would like his style also. I think he fits Jurgen Klopp's way of playing, very high pressing, very high intensity, very direct. And because he's improved technically and because he's improved his ability in the build out, I think that Weston, I think he could start in Liverpool. I think we underrated Weston going from Schalke to Juve, and some people said, "Oh, he's gonna flop at Juve." Turns out he's one of their favorite midfielders now. So 1-0. It looks like the second half is starting. It does not appear to be any subs, from what I can tell. Everybody's still on the field, including Pulisic, which is the main thing we want to know. I think. Wait, that is Pulisic, right? Yes. Pulisic is still on the field, and Weston is still on the field, and that's all we care about. What are your thoughts on a 48-team World Cup? I think the format will be very wacky. Veronica, I think that it is wacky to go 48 teams. The thing that I hate about it the most is World Cup qualifying is never going to be the same again. If CONCACAF has 7 spots, there's going to be no pressure. It's just going to be easy to qualify. So I think they have to come up with a format that will make it at least more interesting with some actual stakes. That's really the main concern for me, is that, for the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, qualifying is just going to be no stakes and boring. And I mean, the only thing you're going to be playing for really is pride to see who can finish top of the qualifying group. But other than that, the stakes will be very low because there's so many teams that qualify. As far as the World Cup format itself, I don't love it. It's like 2 group stages, which seems a little weird to me. But on the other hand, I do like more games. I'm open to seeing it tried. I also understand that I'm of 2 minds. With 32 teams, they say, with 48, you're going to dilute the quality of the World Cup. That's probably true to a degree. But also, there are a lot of teams that are actually getting better around the world, including in Asia and Africa and even us, for example, or Canada. So I understand. I don't think it will dilute the quality as much as they think. I mean, freaking Panama went to the 2018 World Cup and got crushed 6-1 by England. So there are still teams that have very little quality that somehow make it to the World Cup. I think a 48-team World Cup ensures that all the big names will always be there, right? So the big 7 or 8 guys from Europe will always be there. The big, like 2 in South America will always be there. The big 3 in CONCACAF will always be there. I think really, though, what they're going to do is give more spots to Asia. And I think really what they want is either China or India to make a World Cup. Because from an eyeballs perspective, that FIFA would love that. And honestly, I would love it too, especially if India made a World Cup. I lived in India for 7 years and have a very soft spot for that country. And I developed soccer over there. And they're lovely. They're really beautiful people. And soccer is becoming very popular there. They started their own professional league back in 2015 or 2014, which they had one before, but it was very poorly run. This league is actually pretty well run with good sponsorships, good viewership. It's very popular. It's an agrarian country, India, so a lot of people moving to the cities, a lot of young, educated people, a lot of guys, our age, 30s, 20s, younger, who watch soccer, since they were very young and love soccer more than cricket. So I think it would be huge to get India to a World Cup. They just don't have the development sorted out yet. They're getting better at it, but in terms of player development, they need to get their systems down, and that's kind of where I think India struggles. There's a lot of problems with infrastructure and corruption and other issues. But I would love for them to make a World Cup. I would love for them to make a World Cup. I think it would be amazing. I would be cheering for India. I'd be wearing my blue shirt very happily because I have a very soft spot for that country. All right. Egypt. Yeah, I love Egypt too. I love seeing Egypt at World Cups. There's so many African teams that what's interesting to me about the African Confederation is that it switches. They don't really have big dogs that stay at the top all the time. There's Ghana sometimes, Nigeria sometimes, Ivory Coast sometimes, Algeria sometimes, Egypt sometimes. It's sort of a revolving door of who's at the top, and I think that makes it more interesting, right? Whereas in CONCACAF, it's been USA, Mexico, USA, Mexico, USA, Mexico, and now it's going to be USA, USA, USA. Shrey Set. Pete, have you ever been to a cricket match in India? Yes, many times, Shrey. I used to go to watch one day ODI games when India would play Pakistan or New Zealand or something. So that was cool. I also attended a couple of their 2020 games, which is IPL. I think it was Bangalore against Hyderabad. I don't remember exactly, but one of those two. Yeah, Senegal also, Ken. You're right. Come on. Come on. Finesse Kid Carlos. Also, Africa is very interesting because a lot of the teams have legit superstar players, but not a full quality team. Yeah, that's always the problem, right? For consistency is that they'll have amazing players, but then the level from a Mo Salah to some of their other players drops significantly. And that, I bet you it's got to be hard for a guy like Salah playing with Egypt. You play a Liverpool and then you go with Egypt and the quality that you're surrounded with is very poor. So Sean Wood, it is on, it's on Paramount Plus or CBS Sports. Those are the two places you can watch it. 2026 World Cup slots, CONCACAF 6, Asia 8, Africa 9, CONMEBOL 6, Europe 16, Oceania 1. Confirmed back in 2017 by FIFA. Well, there you go. There you go. So CONCACAF will have 6. I mean, I wonder if they're still going to play World Cup qualifying. I wonder if the US, Mexico, and Canada are all still going to play in World Cup qualifying for 2026. And the way CONCACAF will do it is everybody plays, but the 6 plus 3, the 3 automatically qualify and they're just there to play, and the other 6 are more, to get experience. Because I don't think CONCACAF is going to want to lose their golden goose eggs, right? Mexico, the US, and Canada, especially Mexico and the US, not being in a qualifying campaign, there's no money in it. There's no money, or very little money, comparatively speaking. So I wonder what they're going to do for 2026. I'm very curious to see how they're going to run that. And if they don't run, if the US and Mexico and Canada don't play because they qualify automatically, I mean, the qualifying campaign is going to be a very different story, right? All right, so Chelsea dominating possession and chances right now. Pulisic continues to play as a quote-unquote false nine, or really just as a nine. Not really getting a lot of service or time on the ball, which is understandable. It's not really his position, you know. Yes, Juan, I believe you. I agree with you about Copa America. Not just Copa America, man. We should try to get into other tournaments. Asian Cup, African Cup of Nations. That would be amazing. Like, I just think we need to get out of CONCACAF and experience other environments, especially Copa America. Copa America, if you add South America plus 4 teams from CONCACAF, let's say you had Canada, the USA, Mexico, and Jamaica, you could absolutely rival the Euros in popularity. Because not only do you have 2 continents paying very close attention, but now you've got quality too with the US and with Canada. You have marquee players, right? So it's not just Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia that have marquee players. You're talking about the US bringing marquee players. Oh, Thiago Silva with a sharp header. Well saved by Szczesny. Got down low, held on to it well. Wasn't a spectacular save, but did the job you expect a goalkeeper like that to do. Enjoying the stream, Pete. I love my beautiful life. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua. I'm glad you love your life. That is the key. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oof. McKennie with the back heel there. Trying to do the back heel. Switchcraft. The score right now is 1-0 to Chelsea still. Yeah, too many defenders between Callum Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic there. He was trying to get the cross off to Pulisic. Oh, Thiago Silva. Yeah, I think the big one is Copa America because we still have Gold Cup in 2023 and then Copa America 2024, right? That would be ideal for us to bring the first team. And then we can use the Gold Cup to like develop younger players, to maybe give some of the fringe players a chance. You know, Gold Cup also has to be more competitive too. It's boring if it's just the USA and Mexico competing for it every year. Now, Canada looks like they're now competing, but we also need other countries to step up. You know, Jamaica has to figure their shit out, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Who is that for? It's all Chelsea, all Chelsea. They can't get, like, Juve can't get out of their half right now. It's all Chelsea. Pulisic is surrounded by bodies as a striker. What a goal. What a goal, Reece James. Cocky. He's a cocky guy. I mean, to be fair, he had time and space to take it down, but even so, it wasn't an easy angle. And he volleyed that into the corner. 2-0 Chelsea. Whew. What a banger. Dun, 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 dun. Chelsea winning it again. A little too early to say. We have to see what their form and fitness is like. And, I mean, you know, winning it is not until, you know, May of next year. So we have to wait and see. But certainly, definitely one of the candidates, especially with the way they've been playing. I want to say that Pulisic created that goal by challenging for the header in the box that was cleared and it fell to James, but it was cleared poorly because of Pulisic's pressure. No, I'm being a little disingenuous, but he was definitely involved. I mean, asking Christian Pulisic to win a header against Bonucci is something else. So now that it's 2-0, what's going to happen is my question. Are they going to pull? Juve has to come out of their shell, right? I mean, they've got to go higher up the field. They've been sitting back this whole time, you know? Maybe that'll give Pulisic more space, like Rob was saying. We'll see. And Tony Mercury, that's how I would have volleyed the ball back in the day. Do you not play anymore, Tony? I still play. I play 2 times a week at least. Try to stay fit. I'm in that age where I'm like mid-30s pretty much now, so I can't let myself go. I'm at that age where I think as a guy, it goes either way. You can let yourself go and start eating chips and bacon and steaks and not exercising and get a little pot belly. Or you can decide that you're not going to be that guy and you're going to stay healthy, you're going to stay fit, you're going to work out, you're going to be, and that's how you keep yourself young. Oof. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. What is this nonsense? What is he doing? What a finish. What a finish. He just danced through the entire Juventus defense, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, like they didn't exist. That is some terrible, terrible defending. Oh, my God. Oh, look, he's got all that kid with a Pulisic. Oh, no, it's Mount. It looked like Pulisic. I thought the kid had a Pulisic scarf around his neck. That was just some of the worst defending I've ever seen. Like, what was that? He danced through them like they weren't even there. My God, let's see this again. What on earth? So Ziyech goes out to Rudiger. Rudiger finds a beautiful ball out to Reece James, who gives it to Ziyech. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. There's like 3 defenders in there that challenge for the ball but don't even get near it or don't clear it properly. So he beats Bonucci, gets past those 2. Oh, my God. Was that Weston making the last challenge? No, it was Cuadrado. Yeah, they look very alike. Oh, my God. What is that? Yeah, this is over. 3-0. LOL. Pulisic pulling defenders. Number 27 was shitting his pants. Basically, Reed Setzer. Pulisic, excellent movement out of the way. LOL. Whatever goal they score. Oh, come on, Wes. Oh, that's going to be a red card or at least a yellow. No, you didn't touch him. If you touched him, that looked like a stubbs up challenge. Basically, everything good that Chelsea does today, we're going to attribute to Pulisic. We're just going to say, well, it was Pulisic who created the space by getting out of the way. Akshay Singh says, none of the goals are Weston's fault, so I'm happy. I hear you. Yeah, Weston is pretty okay today. I don't think he's been the problem for Juve. Pulisic doing his best Timo impression. That was a nice sidestep, Pully. Guys, we have to come up with fake Pulisic compliments for the stream, for the chat. Everyone, how do you compliment Pulisic without complimenting him? Oh, come on. I mean, poor guy. He's being asked to do a thankless job, to be honest. He really is. Put pressure on Chesney. It's not his position at all. McKennie playing a little higher up the field in this sequence. Yeah, running into space. Play on. Weston with the ball on the right. Nope. Advantage was played. Go back for the free kick. No clear advantage. This is beautiful soccer, Maximus. I agree with you there. It's been beautiful in the sense that like Chelsea are running away with it, but from a defending perspective from Juve, it is not. So Ken the King. Pulisic's unselfishness is getting him the ire of the ungrateful fans, and I don't like him doing that. LOL. It's not up to Christian Pulisic, right? Christian Pulisic is playing a role that he's being asked to play that doesn't really suit him. So we can't really blame Christian Pulisic here. I can't even really blame Thomas Tuchel. None of his strikers are fit, so he puts Christian Pulisic there, I mean, would you rather him be on the bench than playing as a striker? I think I'd rather he play up top than sit on the bench. So Vive la France says Paul Ariello scored the 119th minute match winner at the 2026 World Cup final. At 2026 World Cup final, he'll be 31. You're right. He may still be playing. And knowing Greg Berhalter, he'll probably be on that roster. not Gio Reyna, but somebody else. Tim Weah will win the Champions League with Manchester City in 2026, and he will be benched for Paul Areola because he doesn't provide. He's not as good. What did Greg say to Luca De La Torre? He's not as good in transition. Interesting thoughts there, Greg. Literally the thing that De La Torre is best at, transitioning. But what do we know? We're just plebs. We're just the soccer plebs that should shut up and support the team, right? What do we know? Man, Juventus's attacks are just toothless. You can tell you've lost your confidence when you're just lumping long balls into the channel and hoping that somebody chases him down. Shaquille, who will win this match? I don't know, Shaquille. What do you think? You have a hunch who might come out on top in this game? I feel like Greg likes to make up words. It's not that he makes up words. He just uses those words inappropriately. Like, feels like he's just fishing for an excuse. All right. Like GGG will be in charge that long. Let's hope not, Ricky, but we don't know. If he has a decent Qatar, they might give him another contract. Or even if he doesn't have a decent Qatar, they might give him another contract. Seems very cushy with the boys upstairs. I have to remember, he played soccer with Brian. He played on the national team with Brian McBride and Ernie Stewart. So I'm pretty sure, unless they have a complete disaster of a World Cup, Greg will get another contract, which I don't love. I think we can do better. Roberto Martinez is better. Jesse Marsch is better. Even Pellegrino Matarazzo would be better, in my opinion. Chelsea continues their march to the top of the table. I think they were already top of the table, actually. Didn't Pulisic already score against Malmo earlier in the season? Who's the most overrated player in Concacaf to you, Pete? Oof. Overrated? I mean, I would say some of Greg's favorite MLS lifers, but to do something different, I think Chucky Lozano is overrated. I think he really is. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good winger, but I think the Mexico fans think he's, up there with top wingers in the world, which he's really not. So I would say if anybody is overrated, it's probably Chucky. That is if we take out Leggett, Areola, Roldan, Acosta, Zardes, all of Greg's favorite lifers. What's up? Oh, you need the printer? Yeah, go for it. I'm live, yeah. Oh, great. They know it's our anniversary. A lot of people offered congratulations. Come say hi. No. Why not? You don't want to be on screen. It's only like 200 people. My girlfriend's using the printer, and she doesn't want to come say hi to you all because she said she doesn't like you. She says she's not presentable for 200 people. Don't worry. I'll take a picture of her tonight at dinner, and I'll post it on Twitter. But I appreciate the congratulations. But she says she appreciates the congratulations. Leon Bailey, overrated. Yeah, I agree with you. Calvin Patel says, what's for dinner? We're going to a place in Burbank where they do like charcuterie boards, I think. I think charcuterie board is for dinner. Kevin Polite said she likes Pete, so that is good enough for us. J-Dub says, please tell her I'm offended. One day, when she feels presentable, she'll join one of the live streams and say hello. Karen Johnson, got an extra seat at the table? Oh, wait, what? Start the bidding at $500. Nat said she starts the bidding at $500. Congrats, Pete's girlfriend. Oh, see, they're congratulating you on the... I don't know if they're congratulating you on having snared yourself a wickedly handsome boyfriend, or if they're just congratulating you on... They're congratulating me anniversary stuff. For my great personality that I made it 3 years with you. She says you're congratulating her on her great personality that she made it 3 years with me. See, this is why you need to be on the live stream so we can banter. Guys, raise your hand. No. Raise your hand if you want, Pete and Nat banter on the live stream. You know who we really need to get to do some banter? We need to get Tack and whatever her name is. Mariana. Tack and Mariana to banter on live streams. I would be there for that, with maybe Tactical Dog in the background. Raising hand, Kenda King. 800. What does 800 mean? Someone says she deserves a Purple Heart medal. Karen, oh, they're bidding. Oh, Karen bid 700. Andrew bid 600. A lot of people are raising hands because they want.
Well, we started the extra seat at the table at 500. So.
Oh, that's why it's already 800. We're already at 800. Could pay for dinner and more. Could pay for like eight dinners. Arnold Maldonado. Pete, who is currently the best player in CONCACAF? Oh, that's so hard. I think it's Alphonso Davies. I think Pulisic could be, but he's injured too much to be consistent. But if he was healthy all the time, I think it would be between Pulisic and Davies. But I think right now, Davies. Ben says 11 excuses. Finesse Kid Carlos, how does she deal with you and your Euro snob / MLS hate personality? I don't think I have an MLS hate personality, but she doesn't care about soccer. That's the truth. Is not interesting to her, which is weird because she's German and I know more about German soccer than her. So, Kevin Polite, who is the best coach in CONCACAF, Herdman or Christensen? I think Herdman. I think Herdman has done more than any other coach in CONCACAF with less, but Christiansen is a close shout for second. And then I think it's Tata and Greg fighting it out for third and fourth, with Tapa Whitmore taking up the last place. All right, so Ben is out. The left back is out, which is interesting. Ben Chilwell's gone. Or he's not gone, but he's limping off. So I think it's very unlikely that Pulisic is going to get subbed. Now, Timo Werner coming in. Oh, hang on. Timo Werner and Marcus Alonso. Oh, there's 3 subs being made. And Azpilicueta. I have a feeling Werner's coming in for Pulisic, which is not good. Yes, I agree with you, Tejada. Hugo Perez is good for what he has to work with. By the way, guys, I want to give Arnold a public thank you. He has 2 tickets to the USA Bosnia game in LA in December, and he has donated them to the channel. So we're going to do some kind of something with them. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe raffle them off or do like a giveaway for those 2 tickets. So Arnold, thank you very much for doing that. It's very nice of you. He's a very nice guy. I went to LA Galaxy game with Arnold. He's a great dude. If you have anywhere where people can connect with you, Arnold, if you want people to find you anywhere on Twitter or Instagram, put it in the chat so people can go find you. Great dude, LA Galaxy fan, loves Leggett a little too much. Kidding. But yeah, no, great guy. And thanks again, Arnold. That was awfully nice of you. Oh, Weston on the breakaway. Nice work, Weston. Finds Bentancur. A little layoff is good. Babe, your printing papers are falling down all over the place. Hold up. I don't know why it came up through my mind why in Straight Red Card you were compared to Peter North. I don't know why I found that conversation so funny. I have no idea either. No idea. Kevin Polite said date night with Pete, USA versus Bosnia. That's what we should raffle off. I'll probably actually be doing the live stream and the post game. So I won't actually attend myself, I don't think, but I will probably be raffling them off or doing a giveaway on those tickets. Because Arnold donated them to the channel. So we want to make sure that one of the fans of the channel gets them. It's actually my printer, Ben, not my fax machine. Who uses fax machines anymore? It's 2021. Come on. Who's still faxing stuff? So wait, did Pulisic come off? I got distracted. Oh, no, they're making the subs now? Okay, so Azpilicueta is on for Ben Chilwell. Jorginho. Oh, Pulisic came off. God damn it. You play him for 71 minutes out of position, and when he doesn't do anything, you sub him off. Ah, that's exhausting. Yeah, it's not a great game, but it's not his position either. It's like, it's frustrating to me, you know? Now watch. Timo Werner is going to score, and it's going to make Pulisic look even worse. Maybe let's play Pulisic as a winger next time, huh? And they've got Lukaku coming back. They've got Timo Werner. If you're going to play Pulisic, play him on the wing. Tamale killer. That's exactly how I feel, right? I want to go to USA versus Bosnia, but I don't want to see a second-string team. I mean, you're going to see a second-string team regardless. I think what we want to see is young, talented players. Uli Yanes is another guy that could be in December camp because I think his season might be over at that point in Austria. So, I mean, I'd love to see Uli Yanes back with the national team. You know what, though? Pulisic started, didn't take a big hit a single time, mostly happy. Yeah, I guess this is what we've come to, where we're just happy if he doesn't get injured in the game, you know. It's unfortunate. Hopefully he can stay healthy, guys. Hopefully he can stay healthy, put together a run of form. You know, I don't know, maybe try to play in the right position, try to get a few goals. Pulisic is very much a form and confidence player. When he starts hitting form, his confidence shoots up, and that makes him, when he's in that kind of form, he's one of the most dangerous players in the world. Do you remember that time period for like 3 to 4 months at the end of COVID in early 2020, where he came back and he just lit it up for Chelsea, goals and assists almost every single game? That's when he was confident and in fit and in full form. And that's exactly what we need from Pulisic if he's going to be an effective player long term. Oh, look, Timo Werner on the dribble. Fouled. Nope, maybe not. Didn't look like a foul. Looked like he got the ball. Sounded like Timo was welcomed with boos. What? Were they booing Timo Werner? Himzo says, the Chelsea fans hate Werner. They know he's crap. You did catch the Pulisic standing ovation, though, right? Yeah, the fans do seem to love him. You can't judge a fan base by, you know, Twitter, because Twitter is not an accurate representation of the fan base always. The fans that are actually in the field and watch the games in stadium, they can see a lot more. And I think they have an appreciation for Christian Pulisic. They know, like, he's limited. He can do certain things well. He can't do other things well. So Kevin Polite, think about USMNT Twitter. I actually like USMNT Twitter, Kevin. It's a wild, wild west. It's fun. It's crazy. You get crazies, you get intelligent people, you get smart people, you get everything in between. But mostly what you get is a lot of passion. And that's what I like about it. You know, my dream for the US is to one day be like walk into a Starbucks and people are discussing, you know, the game last night, right? You're in Starbucks and the table over, you're hearing who's better, Pulisic or Reina. You know, that's what I would eventually love for the United States. But right now we have Twitter for that. That's like Twitter. It feels like the big, you know, the bar or the coffee shop for the USMNT fans, and where we go to hang out and talk about stuff and vent and give our opinions. And there's a lot of good stuff on Twitter. There's a lot of good stuff on Twitter. I think it gets a bad name, to be honest. I think it gets a bad name because some people don't like anything that is, they want everything to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. And if it's not sunshine and rainbows, they don't like it or they can't stand it. So I'm fine with USMNT Twitter. XC Thomas, I'm surprised your girlfriend hasn't informed you that W's are pronounced as V's in German. Yeah, she's tried to teach me some German. I'm not very good at it, to be honest. I feel like I'm having an easier time with Spanish than I am with German. Omar Bautista, hey brother Hood, you look like you just woke up. I don't actually think I've brushed my hair today. So yeah, you're probably right. Saul Niguez coming on. That's an interesting, I've never heard of this guy. Oh, Thiago Silva. Oh, Thiago Silva. Oh, dear. Oh, that's a foul. From Moise Ken. You can at least say Mönchengladbach, right? Mönchengladbach. But she always has this like sound when she pronounces those things, like Gladbach. Gladbach. I don't know, man. The German, the accent is hard for me to get right. When will the commentators stop making excuses for mouth wisdom teeth? What? Ilyas Abdi, have you been to any Bundesliga games before? No, I have not, Ilyas. I have never been to Germany. I'm going this Christmas in 4 weeks. We leave on the 21st, and we'll be in Germany for a bit. Unfortunately, while we're there, there's no Bundesliga on. They're on the winter break, so I won't be able to see any games. Oh, Saul played at Atletico until this year. Oh, that's who he is. Somehow I didn't recognize him in blue. Interesting. So it's 3-0, guys, 78th minute. Chelsea are completely dominating this. All right, Chris Gary. You may disagree, but Pulisic should stay at Chelsea. I think Tuchel rates him, and some people are too reactionary if he doesn't start or play well. Yeah, I have no problem with Pulisic staying. I think he will get enough playing time to justify being there. And to be honest, most of the reason he hasn't been playing is because of his injuries. So I don't have a problem with him staying and fighting for his spot. It makes him a better player. If he has to stay and fight for his spot week in and week out, it'll make him a better player. So I don't really have a problem with it. Now, if he goes to Barcelona, I also don't have a problem with that. If he goes to another top team in the world, the only two places I don't want Christian Pulisic as far as top clubs are Real Madrid and PSG. Those are the two places I don't want him. Anywhere else, I'm fine with him going so long as it's a top Champions League team in the world. That's my main thing. But I would have no problems. No problem with him staying at Chelsea. Dan O. Pete, there's still too many highs and lows with our Euro players, even when it comes to the basics like trapping a ball. Emotionally draining. So first, Dan, nobody traps a ball anymore, right? That is an old soccer way of controlling the ball. You don't trap it. You take a touch into space. Your first top players in the world, their first touch goes into space. But I think you're talking about Pulisic and his performance today. Pulisic is not the kind of player that is going to hold up the ball as a center forward. It's just not his game. He's playing there because he doesn't have much of a choice, and they don't really have anyone else to play there right now. But I have no problem with Christian Pulisic. I actually think most of our players are doing fine in Europe. Most of our Euro players are doing fine. They're young, right? Most of them are very young, so there is going to be a certain amount of inconsistency, and you just have to live with that. I mean, right now, our big problem is that our elite players playing at very high levels, which we've never had before, are inconsistent sometimes, right? That is still way, way, way better than what we had before, right? Where we had maybe one guy in the Europa League, right? If Clint Dempsey, we had nobody in the Champions League, right? Or very rarely anybody in the Champions League, maybe somebody in the group stage, one or two. And then we had 2 or 3 guys in the Europa League that sometimes played and sometimes didn't. This is just part of the development of American soccer, right? Every year we're going to have more and more players playing at highest level. And because they're young, there's going to be a certain variance to their performance. And you just have to be okay with that because that's not just Americans. That's all young players, So it'll get better. They'll get better as they get older. Remember, these guys aren't going to hit their prime until 2026, and some of them not until 2030. Like, think about it. Gio Reyna just turned 19 last month. That means in 2026, Gio Reyna is still going to be 24. Gio Reyna doesn't hit his prime until the World Cup 2030. Think about that. He'll be 28 years old in 2030, Gio Reyna. That's when he hits his prime. That is amazing when you think about it. So the next 10 to 12 to 15 years is going to be amazing for the national team. What we have to make sure is we keep this pipeline of players going, right? We've got to keep developing these kinds of players. Otherwise, what will happen to us is what happened to Belgium. We'll come to the end of this generation, and it hasn't happened to Belgium yet. It's happening now. And go, oh shit, the next generation of players is not as good. And so our level drops from up here to down here. We don't want to be like Chile or Belgium or Colombia, where they had this one generation of amazing players, but when that generation aged out, their development systems were not in place to replace those players. They had some good players, but it's not the same level. So, yeah, I agree with you to a degree, Dan. Bandit Legal, do you realize Jordan Sibachu scored for Young Boys? Yeah, did he score again? I heard it was in the first half. Did he score more than one? In the first half, I know he got a goal. But yeah, I think it's just the one. And the ball control under pressure by this Juve back line. I wish U.S. soccer coaches at all valued that more. I'm with you, Tyler. I am very much with you on that. All right, 9 more minutes in this game. It's just all Chelsea at this point. Juve starting to attack a little more, not really being very incisive. A couple of half opportunities, but no clear-cut opportunities for Juve. I think it's clear that Chelsea is just a much better team at this point. And Juve are aging too. That's the other problem. A lot of their players are getting older, and they're going to have to shift into a younger generation, led by a certain Harry Potter-loving American. Would like to organize friendlies ahead of the World Cup? If so, what countries would you like to see? So it depends who is in our group, Ilyas. Right now, I would like to see any good elite European or South American players. But once the draw has been made, then I want to play players that are very close to those kinds of teams. That was a good shot by Weston on the volley, left foot, nice save. Yeah, that was a great shot. Just too much in the center of the goal, so it was savable. But not an easy shot to take, for sure. Karen Johnson. McKennie almost scored a banger. Karen, I want to know something, Karen. You've been in like the chats quite a few times now. When and how did you get into soccer? Tell us, like, what's your soccer story? How did you get to supporting the national team? How did you fall in love with soccer? Did you play? Do you coach? Are you just a fan? Give me your thoughts, because we don't have enough girls in the chat. So when there is one, I'm always fascinated by how you get into the game, like how you got into soccer. Yeah, so to answer the other question, let's say Ghana is in our group. Let's say the group is the USA, Ghana, England, and Uruguay. Okay, so then I would want to play teams like Paraguay, Nigeria, and Germany, for example. Play friendlies with guys who have similar styles and similar levels of quality to the opponents we're going to be facing, so that we can develop our system around those games, Oh, brother, why the U.S. hasn't bring Alan Senora? He seems a really good dog in the middle. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a ton of Alan Senora play, but from people I trust who have scouted him have told me he's a very technical player. Plays as an attacking midfielder. We're developing a lot of good attacking midfielders now. So yeah, I would love to see him at least in January camp. Okay, Karen Johnson, here's her story. 2014 World Cup. A couple foreign exchange students I knew from school were talking about it during the Netherlands-Spain game. A few days later, I put the U.S. game on, and I've been hooked ever since. That's awesome, Karen. What part of the U.S. do you live in? And are you part of American Outlaws? Or are you just like a fan? And how did you find the channel? Tell us more. Michael Trask. Senora is not a horse. Triple G only wants 8s. Yes. Too much skill, like Luca de la Torre. Way too much skill. Need more running and athleticism and rah-rah, try hard, run fast mentality. Rural northern Illinois. Okay, so you're just not far from Chicago, Karen. Which city? I lived in Chicago for 3 years. I lived in, pretty much Chicago. Not quite downtown, but very close. Getting ready for that winter, Karen? That was the one thing after I moved to California I did not miss, was those brutal Chicago winters. Just brutal. Oh, Rockford. Okay, yeah, I know Rockford, Karen. I know it well. Cool. Well, welcome. It's nice to have girls in the chat, in this community. It's awesome. And thanks for hanging out, being here with us. We appreciate it. Pulisic for a standing applause when being subbed off. It's like 30 right now in Chicago. Oh, yeah, Kevin, you're in Chicago too, aren't you? Guys, let me know if you enjoy doing these like live watch-alongs for like Americans in the Champions League game, because I'll do more of them if you guys enjoy them. Peter Hamel, Lakeview here. GB apparently lives in Southport Corridor. I know. I like Lakeview, Peter. Karen Johnson says not proud to mention Rockford. Oh, that's funny. I don't think Rockford's that bad. It's very like rural / suburban, but sometimes it can be nice. But I do like Chicago. Chicago's a great city, if only it wasn't so cold. Those brutal winters, man. Especially when you're shooting outdoors. Oh, it's the worst. The worst. Is there any saving for Owen Odasawi? Yeah, it just depends, Jay. It depends on he's got to fix his attitude, right? As far as I understand, he got, some mentality issues, doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to learn, poor work rate. Those are the things that I've heard about Odasawi, but he's still young enough that he can mature, right? So let's see what happens with him. He needs to start getting regular playing time for Bruges and needs to start performing well before he even wants to be considered, before he could even be considered. So let's wait and see. Weah has apparently been subbed off. All right. That's interesting. Dest is playing right now off the bench. Good to see him back. Very good to see him back. The Champions League streamers are great, says Jake Johnson. Will you be streaming any MLS playoff games? Yes, we will. I think starting this weekend, I talked to TAC. We're going to do a thing where from this weekend on, we're going to try and stream the playoff games. I'm going to do Western Conference because I live in LA, and he's going to do Eastern Conference because he lives in Orlando. But I think we'll hop on each other's stream. So I think we'll do both. Just to sort of like get some excitement and build towards the final. Be cool to do. So Aronson off as well. Well, there you go. Young Boys Atalanta is crazy. Is it 3-2 to Young Boys right now, Adam? 89th minute in the Chelsea game. It's 3-0, mostly Chelsea. No Pulisic, but Weston is still there. Jay Cutler, is Breck Shea the GOAT? Always, Jay. Always. Oh, Brooks was off in the 89th minute. They lost 1-0. Did anybody watch the Wolfsburg game? Let me know how Brooks played. I think he's going to have to like play really well to even be considered for the roster in January. Let's hope Greg actually brings him back. I love this Red Zone Golazzo show for the end of the matches. Oh, yeah? Do they do the one that Nico Cantor does, no? Yankee Mojo, Barca can't score to save their lives. West seeming to be involved in a lot of Juve attacks here, but they really can't. Oh, 5 minutes? Jesus. 5 minutes. All right. Come on, Juve. 3 goals in 5 minutes. Can you do it? I don't think so. Man, it's crazy how good Thiago Silva is at his age. It almost feels like his level has barely dropped in the last like 7-8 years. That takes a lot to still be that good at that age and for that long. It's like the old saying, right? It's hard to get to the top. It's harder to stay there, right? Is there drama with Triple G and Brooks? I mean, I don't know if there's drama. I think there's definitely left him off for a reason. But Brooks's response was great. I mean, I think he made the right response, and I think that's kind of, it was smart of him to make a public sort of display of like, yeah, Greg was right to leave me off, because now it makes Greg look good when he brings him back. I think Brooks played that one very smartly. Unlike De La Torre, who's clearly very bitter about being left off so many rosters, and I understand that was a great layoff from Wes. I understand why. I just don't know if it's going to help his case, So, yeah, McKennie very heavily involved in this Juve attack here. Nice little layoff, spun his defender, laid it off from Moise Kean again, who got a shot off from outside the box, but it was a very tame shot. But that was all created by Weston McKennie. So well done. Elias, I love these Champions League streamers. Great. I'll try to do them more. I'll try to do them more often, at least for the rest of Champions League. We have, 3 more games at least? What happened to Benfica? What happened? Oh, no. They missed an open net. Oh, boy. All right. 2 more minutes to this Chelsea-Juve game, and then we're going to shut it down. What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Let me know. Are you just staying at home? Is anybody traveling anywhere to see family? What are you guys doing? I'm going to stay in LA. My girlfriend and I are going to we have some friends that we do Thanksgiving with every year. The couple the guy is also American and his wife is German. So we have a lot in common. And they're also actors. So we usually do Thanksgiving with them. Sometimes I'll go do it with my family, but I hate flying for like a one-day event, like flying to Dallas where a lot of my family is. Flying there one day and then you got to fly back, and tickets are always so expensive on the day. So I usually do Christmas with family and Thanksgiving with friends. Ben says Friendsgiving. Yeah, that's basically it. Dawid Malan going home from college. Kyle Woolston eating food with family. C. Thomas, house party with other Yanks abroad. Nice. Are you a Yank abroad? Jay Cutler, where do you live, Thomas? Jay Cutler, Juan Agudelo is what Greg thinks Paul is. Gandalf Graham, Grapefruit Greg is a non-sentient life form and show for the MLS some USSF industrial complex. Those 2 bits are the only explanations for all his inexplicable player selections and lack of tactics. Nadia Acosta says, home, no traveling until Saturday, sticking around with the in-laws. Oh, we have another girl. Hi, Nadia. Big Chunkus, Juan Agudelo. Oh, you're in the Republic of Georgia, Thomas. That's amazing. Wait, Yankee Mojo, having turkey with my ex and her family. Are you in your... Oh, wait, Chelsea scored. How did I miss that? Was it Werner? Oh, Werner, I'm sorry. Was it Werner? Oh, great. Or was it James? Allegri, not happy. So this is off a counterattack. What on earth is that? Oh, Weston didn't clear that. Oh, that's on Weston, man. Oh, my God. Oof, that's on Weston for sure. Yeah, Yankee Mojo, are you still on good still on good terms with your ex? That must be a little awkward. Oh, that was awful, man. Werner scores, and it's on Weston McKennie. Oof. Not good. It doesn't take away from his overall performance, though. All right, game over. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to hang. We'll try to do these more often, especially for Champions League when Americans are playing, because I think that's the most important European club games that there are. But thanks for coming to hang out. This was fun. You guys all have a very happy Thanksgiving. I think there's an MLS game on Thanksgiving, I believe, on Thursday. A playoff game. I'm not sure. I think they're trying to compete, so that'll be interesting. But it was good to see you guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll try to do more hangouts when we can. I might do a Thanksgiving video, just a soccer Thanksgiving, 10 things I'm thankful for from an American soccer fan's perspective. So everybody have a great one. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Not the best day for either McKennie or Pulisic, although I think McKennie actually played quite well. Just that one whiff at the end was not good. But this is what it means to be a soccer fan. Ups and lows, highs and lows, ups and downs. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.